Kind of hard to have thoughts up here, I'll tell you that. That's the beauty of being in a place like this, going on a hike like this, is it removes you of your thoughts. Very few things do that, or very few things do humans know how to use that remove thought. A lot of the time, when people want to get out of their head, they use drugs, alcohol, sex, and it's just a cheap, instant pleasure that guarantees a drop off at the end. Guilt, some sort of pain. It's all guaranteed when you take something that's instantly pleasurable. But stuff like this, I had to hike to the top of this fucking mountain. I didn't just snap my finger and appear in this beautiful spot, or else this wouldn't have any meaning to it at all. And what you'll notice is that the only things that actually provide long-lasting happiness are the things that require effort to get. There is no such thing as free lunch. It's an untouchable law of the universe. You will not get something for nothing. Because if you take a drug, what happens? You do stuff that you regret, you destroy your body, you destroy relationships, you could go to jail, and you feel like shit after. And then, at that point, you've exposed yourself to how bad it is when you don't have it. That's no way you want to live. So, I'm not saying to drop everything that you do right now, but I think the name of the game is, can you start little by little doing things that you don't want to do in the moment and noticing how good it feels after? Because I tell you what, when I walked out of my house, I opened the door, fog everywhere. I thought, wow, I can't go on this hike. But I said, no, I'm just going to go through it. Closer and closer I got. It's about a 30-minute drive. The more and more I got out here, the sunnier it got. As soon as I got on the trail, there's bugs. I didn't want to keep moving. I thought, wow, it might even be foggy up there. Who knows what I'm going to see? Bro, look at this. Imagine I stayed home. I was so close to staying home, but imagine I did. I would have missed this. All because I was okay with just taking a step into the fog. So it doesn't mean you need to hike to a mountain every day, but go to the gym. It's something that I never want to do beforehand, and I'm always glad I've done after. And it's the cycle with everything. It's the same with this hike. I didn't want to go. I went, and now look at this. And everything that you want to do right now, you'll wish you didn't do after. It's this continuous, untouchable law. You can't get something for nothing. But after long enough of neglecting the cheap pleasure and doing this real shit like this, it kind of changes your brain a little bit, changes the way you operate, and you're not blind to that cycle. Because many people, they're just not even aware of this terrible cyclical process where you want something, buildup is awesome, you get it instantly, and bam, it drops off. You go get Krispy Kreme donuts, driving there and getting them, you're hyped. And you eat them, they taste good for about 2 minutes. And then what? You feel like shit after. If you're on a diet, you'd feel guilty as hell. And so we have this misconception that if we don't just indulge in those cheap pleasures, that we're missing out. That's how I feel, because I started eating healthy. I felt like I was missing out. And it's because I've been pre-exposed to how allegedly great it was to eat unhealthy food. And then every time I indulge slightly, I think, wow, I'm never doing that again. Why can't we just accept that the harder way is the better way? Switching gears, but another thing that I'm really working on is not clinging to good moments in my past. That's what nostalgia is. Nostalgia is you wishing you were in the past. And that is going to guarantee that you're dissatisfied with right now. So you're literally granting yourself permission to be miserable because the past is never going to happen again. And every time you try to recreate the past, it's not the same. The first version of every movie is always the best. Second, third, they might be all right, but they're not the same as the first. Whenever you try to recreate something, you're clinging to it. Clinging is what we want to avoid. We want to just be where we are. I'm like a yogi freaking guru in these mountains right now, preaching. Not trying to be like that, but it's just so beautiful. Who am I kidding? This is awesome. And you know what? I'm never going to be in this spot again. I've been here a few times, other people, and it's so easy for me to cling to this spot, to cling to this moment, to be sad that I'm never going to have this again. That's the human tendency. But why do we got to do that? So much more. You don't have to do that. And I'm done doing that shit, dude. It's so easy to just cling to the past or worry about the future. When I was hiking up the trail, my mind wouldn't stop racing. And then as soon as I got up here, I'm floating, by the way. I'm not standing on anything. I'm floating in the mountains. If you were wondering how I got up here, I can fly. And I'm not standing on anything. I'm just floating in the middle of space.